The energy is palpable. As USC won the toss, they elected to go and take the ball on the road. And that might not be a bad decision for Lincoln Riley's unit. He's going to lean on his strongest suit, and that's their offense. Nebraska in the black uniforms with the white lettering, white numbers, and the white trim down the side with a black helmet, with a white helmet with a black logo. USC in their road whites with the gold pants, red piping down the stripes of the pants, red lettering, and red numbers. Referees for tonight, Cole Knipple, the uncle of NBA draft pick Con Knipple, Edward Feaster, and Rod Amory, and we are underway inside Memorial Stadium with a deep kickoff that will be fair caught right at the 2-yard line by USC. And now we get introduced to the Trojan offense led by the second-year man under his tutelage by Lincoln Riley. The transfer by way of UNLV, Jaden Mayava, who comes in with just over 2,000 passing yards, a 68% completion percentage. Brady, this is a guy that has taken leaps and bounds of improvement in his second year in the Trojan helmet.
Yeah, you look at 15 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions, and that looks like a great number. 4 interceptions, 15 touchdowns, but all 4 of those picks have come in the last 3 games, including 2 in his last game against Notre Dame.
1st and 10 from the 25. Mayava into the pistol set with King Miller off his right hip. Lone receiver out to the left is Jacoby Lane. Huskers showing a 4-man front. Quick rocket toss to the outside to King Miller. Tries to cut his way back, and a swarm of Huskers will take him down after a short gain.
Yeah, in the last 2 games, the Huskers have given up over 5 yards per carry. So this is going to be huge for Nebraska to try and shut down USC's run game. If they can run the ball effectively with the pass offense that we already know is one of the best in the country, the Huskers have no chance.
3-man front for the Huskers. 2nd and 5 from the 30 for the Trojans. Mayava gets set from the belt, waiting for the snap from center Jayonri Reed. Mayava looking to throw, is flushed, has to step up, still plenty of time. Waneri trying to move him out of the pocket. Mayava goes on the run, and the pass skipped off of the ground and will fall incomplete. This will bring up a 3rd and medium early for the Huskers defense.
That's one thing we've heard all week. The Huskers do not get a lot of pressure. Out of 134 teams in NCAA Division I football, Nebraska ranks 128th in generated sacks. But getting some pressure on Mayava there, that's huge for this Husker defense.
So here we go, early crucial down in this ball game as the stadium peaks to a fever pitch. 3rd and 5 from the 30-yard line of USC.
Boy, this place is rocking.
They go with a trick formation. 3 offensive linemen split out wide. Jacoby Lane, and now they send Makai Lemon into motion. It's a quick toss to Lemon, moving his way through the middle, and he's met by Dasan McCullough on the scene first. And Brady, I don't know if he got the first down.
Makai Lemon only 1 rush for a loss of 13 yards last week, and I'm not sure. They tried some crazy trickery. They had their offensive lineman way out wide, tried to go with an end around, and the punt unit is on. The Husker defense with a massive stop here early.
So back to punt is Sam Johnson. The Huskers get them on 3 and out, but they got to be wary, Brady. USC special teams might try to fake to regain momentum early on in this ball game.
You know what I was going to say is I really liked the idea of winning the toss and taking the football. That's how you take a road crowd out of it. Try and get a lead early. So for the Huskers, this stop is massive.
Huskers go all out for the block. They leave Barney alone on the return. Tries to make his way up the right sideline, and that's great tackling right there by USC special teams. That was Kennedy Urlacher, the transfer from Notre Dame, who made the tackle on special teams. And we get our first look at the Nebraska offense led by second-year man Dylan Raiola, a 5-star out of Buford, Georgia. 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last year. Brady, he's drastically improved upon those marks. How about 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions? He's cutting down on the turnovers, and it's helped boost the Huskers' win total.
Yeah, but for the Huskers, Raiola only has 1 touchdown pass in the last 2 games, so got to look for him to throw the ball into the end zone, get some nice passing attempts. But let's see if they get him at Johnson going.
1st and 10 for the 25 after a 47-yard punt and a 4-yard return by Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Barney goes in motion. Raiola gets the snap. It's an RPO, and he throws quickly to the outside, and he's got the transfer from Cal, Isaiah Hunter, for a short gain.
6 catches last week for Hunter. That led the team, and they're feeding him early. Love to see Isaiah Hunter getting the football, and that's a big chunk we talked about. Huskers need to get good plays on 1st down, big chunks on 1st down. They do that right there.
Tackle by Marcellus Williams on the outside on that pitch and catch, a 7-yard gain. Brings up short sticks for Nebraska, 2nd and 3 with 13:08 remaining in the 1st quarter. As they go with a double wide receiver set on the left side, it's Hunter and Barney. They leave Key isolated by himself. Lindenmeyer on the line of scrimmage. Inside handoff goes to Johnson, moving his way forward through the lane, and he's got a first down and a little bit more for the Big Red.
Boy, that jump cut that Johnson has is elite. Plenty of room there. It's almost like what we used to see out of Le'Veon Bell. He waits for a little bit, and then he has that elite jump cut and a big first down. Moving the chains already for the Huskers. Great start to this game.
1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Lindenmeyer still on the line of scrimmage. Raiola goes through his pre-snap checks. They go with a delayed handoff. He goes one-on-one ball looking for the sideline. Tried to find Dane Key. Heavy contact, and no penalty flag will come. Good coverage over there by Marcellus Williams to break up that connection.
Only 22 yards for Dane Key last week, and Dana Holgerson was asked about it a lot in the media availability this week. How do you get Dane Key going? Got to get an elite player the football, and I like that. Early in the game, just third play for the Huskers, trying to feed him the ball in a one-on-one.
But now they find themselves in a disadvantageous scenario. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Huskers have 10 big yards to go if they want to move the sticks again. Raiola goes under center for the first time tonight. Sends Lindenmeyer into motion behind him. Deep set handoff. Johnson goes through the middle, breaks off one tackler, gets to the second level and spins off of a man. And after a gain of 5 yards, we'll put the Huskers at 3rd and medium. Marcellus Williams comes in to make the stop from the secondary.
Yeah, Johnson came into this game with 44 broken tackles, make it 46 after that run right there. That's good for 3rd in the nation. That's where he excels. Breaking first contact, getting yards after contact. He's doing a great job. That's a huge 2nd and 10 run for the Huskers right there.
Yeah, they get 7 as Johnson stretched the ball out with a late effort. 2 runs for 13 yards for Johnson on this drive so far. Pivotal down early, 3rd and 3 from the 45 for Nebraska. They go with a heavy set, 2 tight ends on the line. Harburg goes into motion. Johnson gets the handoff, and he bounces off of contact, fights his way into the second level, and he got up near the line to gain, and it might be just enough to move the chains, and it will be.
Well, in crunch time versus Northwestern, we saw 4 for 4 for the Huskers on 3rd down last week, and a huge 3rd down right there, feeding Emmett Johnson, and he does it again, breaking tackles to pick up the line to gain.
3rd run of the drive for Johnson. They've only attempted 2 passes, has Nebraska. So we go with a 1st and 10 from the 49 with 11:10 left to play in the first quarter. It's Isaiah Mosey, the freshman from Kansas City, off the left hip of Raiola. Send Key into motion. Raiola goes empty side, slings it out to Isaiah Hunter, and he's got a quick completion. He was kept in bounds, but more positive plays on 1st down to keep Nebraska ahead of the sticks, Brady.
Well, this is the recipe we saw last week. Feed Hunter, feed Emmett Johnson, and so far the Huskers have only gone to 2 players. It's Johnson and it's Hunter, and they've done a huge part in the Huskers already being into USC territory.
Nebraska taking a page out of USC's playbook with the heavy RPO scheme. Hunter's got 2 catches so far. 2nd and 4 from the 45. They send Barney into motion. It's a handoff to Mosey. Goes through the middle, keeps the legs churning, dives forward, and gets near the 1st down line to gain. Positive start on the ground for Nebraska early here with a couple of different backs, Brady.
I'm loving what we're seeing for the Huskers. This is a USC defense coming in that gave up 6.9 yards per carry against Notre Dame, almost 7 yards per carry. They allowed 7 yards per play overall, and the Huskers are really making this USC defense work.
Gain of 4 on the play, moves the sticks. Eric Gentry, the leading tackler for the Trojans, in on the stop for USC. 1st and 10 from the USC 41 for Nebraska. Raiola goes with the RPO again, gets it out wide in space to Corey Barney, makes one man miss before he's wrapped up and tackled after a big chunk play on that one again. A gain of 12 on that quick pass to Ja'Cory Barney, tackled by Desmond Stevens II.
Play action, RPO, we've seen it all from the Huskers so far in this first drive, and they're cooking. It seems everything they want to get is working right now. Only 1 incompletion for Dylan Raiola, already into USC territory.
Yeah, and Danton Lynn talked earlier in the week in his media availability about how he wasn't pleased with the way that USC tackled against Notre Dame, something that they wanted to work on. They had a whole bye week to work on, and so far has not come to fruition for the Trojans. 1st and 10 for the 29, inside handoff. They get Johnson back on the field, stripped off of a couple of tacklers, makes another man miss, and dives forward after a gain of 4, but that was a hard-earned 4 yards, Brady. Again, we're seeing some of those tackling woes appear again early on in this first drive.
Yeah, like I said, Johnson came into the game with 44 broken tackles. He's already almost up to 50. I mean, we've seen almost every time he's touched the football. 2 broken tackles here, 2 broken tackles there, and he made the first 3 defenders miss on that play. USC has got to be better containing him. First man's got to bring him down.
Hard-earned 2, and Devin Tompkins, the junior from Tracy, California, in on the stop to make it 2nd and 8 from the USC 27. 8:38 left to go here in the first quarter. Barney goes into motion. Raiola will go on the move, keeps it himself, calls his own number, and dives forward. After taking the rush and showing the threat of the legs is Dylan Raiola. Desmond Stevens II came up from the linebacker position to make the trip.
Well, we talked about the RPO. How about the read option for the Huskers? Dylan Raiola keeping it himself. Not something we see very often. And another big chunk for the Huskers. I love how they're moving the football right now.
So a gain of 4 on that play brings up a 3rd and 4, a 10-play, 52-yard drive so far for the Huskers. 3rd and 4 from the USC 23 as the Trojans try to create some confusion along this defensive front. 3 wide receivers with Lindenmeyer on the line on the left. Raiola gets the handoff. Johnson's got a big running lane, slips off of a tackler and gets forward for another Nebraska first down.
Well, USC's not going to be pleased with this. Another broken tackle. Their tackling wasn't great against Notre Dame, and they are allowing a lot of broken tackles early. But one thing that they did do good against Notre Dame, we've talked about how poor the USC defense was in that game. They held Notre Dame to 3 of 11 on 3rd down, but the Huskers already 2 for 2 against this USC defense.
And the more important part here, 11 plays, 60 yards, 5 minutes and 46 seconds the Huskers have taken off the clock, and that's 5 minutes and 46 seconds that USC's offense isn't on the field. 1st and 10 from the USC 15, Huskers inside the red zone. Raiola goes with the fade ball on 1st and 10, looking for Hunter in the end zone, heavily covered, and they're waiting for a penalty flag. I don't think they'll get one. Great coverage over there by Marcellus Williams. He's had his number tested a couple of times already.
You can hear the Boo Birds coming out. That student section awfully loud. There was a lot of contact between Hunter and his defender there, but no flag, and it'll bring up 2nd down now for Nebraska.
Like Brady said, the boos raining down in a heavy chorus from every part of this sea of black inside Memorial Stadium. Nonetheless, it's 2nd and 10 from the 15, and Raiola will go under center once again. 5 offensive linemen with Lindenmeyer along the line. Barney goes into motion. Handoff to Johnson. And this time USC got numbers in the backfield, and they were able to drag him down before he got going. A great tackle right there by Desmond Stevens II, his 3rd already of this drive.
Yeah, and he had 10 tackles, a career high. Last 2 weeks ago against Notre Dame, already 3 tackles on the opening drive. And this is good for the Huskers. I would say both teams in this game would consider their offense to be their specialty. So you want your offense on the field, and keeping USC's offense off the field is exactly what you need to be doing.
3rd and 9 for the 14. Huskers already 2 for 2 from 3rd down on this drive, and they've got a long 9 yards to get to. USC's talented pass rushers with plenty of leeway. They send 5. Raiola's going fade ball, looking for Key along the side. 2-hand snag. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Nebraska.
That was one of the better catches that I've seen a Husker make this season. Dane Key had a defender draped all over him. There was lots of contact, and here come the balloons.
And one ends up inside our studio. The extra point attempt from Kyle Cunanan set to go, but what a throw by Raiola, what a contested catch by Dane Key, and that's exactly what they brought him into this offense for, Brady's, to make 50-50 balls into 70-30s or 80-20s.
Well, Holgerson was pestered about it all week. How do you get Dane Key involved? How about 2 one-on-one balls in the first drive and one of the better catches that I've ever seen? Dane Key makes a great grab, and the Huskers with an early lead after forcing a 3-and-out.
Cunanan on to attempt the extra point as Nebraska chunked off 7 minutes and 1 second of time of possession. 6-0 Huskers as Cunanan lines up the extra point try. And that one rings through the middle of the nets. It's good. 7-0 early for Nebraska on a 14-play, 75-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 1 second. Coming up, we'll see how USC's offense can respond. We're taking a break. You're listening to this highly anticipated Big Ten matchup between Nebraska and USC on 90.3 KRNU. And welcome back inside Memorial Stadium alongside Brady Alderson. I'm Justice Rohde, Christopher Sullivan-Diaz, Colin Davlon, Beck Frazier, and of course our great Professor Bill Dolman in the booth with us. Brady, it was a 14-play, 75-yard drive in 7 minutes and 1 second of clock chewed up. Nebraska's offense, a long, efficient, sustained drive to open up the contest. And now we see how USC's offense responds. Just 7 yards on the first drive. They went 3 and out. How do they have to respond to this? What do they go to try to create some offensive momentum of their own?
I'm not sure if I gave the Huskers defense enough credit coming into this game. They've got the second best pass defense in the nation, and I was thinking maybe that's because their strength of schedule. They haven't really played a good offense yet, and this is an offense in USC that's got 2 possible NFL wide receivers, 2 possible NFL tight ends, and they shut them down in the pass pass game. USC has got to get the run game going. Nebraska's giving up over 5 yards a carry right now as a rushing defense, but they did a good job on that first drive. USC's got to change something up. We saw everything from the Huskers on that opening drive.